check. All right.
Hey.
Hey.
This your girl, Lady Viv. Welcome to Women Supporting Women's Support Group radio show.
That's what it is. You're right. Keep going.
Today is the kickoff.
you
I'm
got
so excited. This is our first show of many. I want you guys to tune in every Friday from 6 to 9 p.m. On my live, or you can go to www.wmrronair.com to tune into the show. We have interesting, exciting people that's going to be invited to our show. We have information to give. It's going to be informative. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to be here today, and thank you all for tuning in. Today I have with me my friend Andre. He's going to make sure everything runs smoothly, and also producer Ty. She's here to make sure everything runs smoothly. Again, I want to welcome you to the Women Supporting Women's Support Group radio show. And I just want to tell you a little bit about me and this organization. It's an organization designed to help women and their children and overcome obstacles and traumas that they experienced in their lives. And because of COVID, we could no longer have the meetings in person. So what's a better way to reach out people other than radio? So I decided to come on the radio and have this show for women so that we can discuss topics and discuss anything that you have going on in your life that you need answers for. You can always tune in. You could put it in the comments. You could tune in on the StreamYard, and we just gonna have a real conversation between women and women supporting women group. Woohoo! I'm excited.
Excited? Yeah, that's a lot. We just gotta fall back and let you gotta just jump in the water and swim right now.
I know.
Just jump and swim.
Yeah, it's for real. We have people all over the world tuning in. I'm excited about where this venture is going to take us, and I want everybody to be involved, be engaged, and go with us. If you have any questions or anything, you could type it in, you could put it in the Facebook Live, and I'll be sure to get your questions answered. If there's anybody out there who needs resources and services, please reach out to me. Let me know. You can email me, you can call me. All my information will be on my Facebook Live, and I'll make sure that you get the information so that I can help you with whatever resources and services that you need. And that's the purpose of this show, so that I can reach a broader band of people versus phone calls and versus Zoom conferences. With this radio show, I can reach hundreds, if not thousands of people, giving them imperative information pertaining to themselves and their families. So thank you so much for tuning in. And tonight is going to be an epic night. We have two very special guests that will be coming on soon. We have the board president of the Susan G. Komen Foundation, which is for breast cancer. You know, the pink ribbon. Okay, she's the board president. Her name is Kim Hurd. She'll be on at 6:30 to educate us and give us information about breast cancer. Then after she's on, we have our very own Butterfly, Rebecca Butterfly Bond. She will be on, and she's gonna serenade us with her poetry. And she's going to cover the domestic violence and the bullying piece. So you guys stay tuned. You can listen while you're in your car, while you're cooking, while you're driving, whatever you're doing, you can still tune in and you can listen to the Women Supporting Women Support Group radio show. Thank you again for tuning in. I appreciate you all.
Woo, you got it. You got it out?
I got it out.
Good.
Oh,
you're doing a great job.
Yeah, thank you. I got it out, you guys. So, I'm excited to be here. And again, I can't say this enough. If you know of anyone, or if you yourself need any help with anything, any type of resources or services, please reach out to me so that I can be of assistance. That's the purpose of this program. It's not for anything else. It's to help women, the women of the world, because we are the motherships. We are what guide and lead everything. And if we're not right, then what you think going to happen to our children? They're not going to be right. So if we can get our minds right, and if we're having issues and we can stay on top of them, then we know that could trickle down to our children and they can get their minds right. Being a dysfunctional parent, how can you sit at the table and help your child with homework when you're not right? Being a dysfunctional parent, how can you go to a child's meeting or talk to the child's teacher over the phone when you're not right? But if we can get our minds right, if we can get through that domestic violence, if we can get through homelessness, if we can get off those drugs, if we can stop drinking, if we can start working and start building and start edifying and start being the queens that we are, then we can definitely help those under us, especially our children, change and be better as well. And that's the whole focus of Women's Support and Women's Support Group, is to help us be better, help women be better, grow, change their mindsets, learn so that they can teach. So that's what it's about. I'm excited, you guys. This is the kickoff. And this is just the first of many, 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 many to come. And believe me, it's going to grow. It's going to expand because I believe in the God that I serve. And again, I thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. And we just, we chilling out and we talking. And again, I have Andre with me. He's my brother from another mother, and he's making sure everything runs smoothly, that I don't have any hiccups with the audio or anything. So he's right here by my side. Thank you, Andre, for being here.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I get you back. This your birthing. This
Yes.
your I'm coming out.
I want the real.
Hey,
No.
hey. So this is yours. So I want to make sure you're comfortable.
Yes.
And you're doing that fantastic job. Look at you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I think you need to tell them though about women supporting women, this movement, this group, and all of the things that you really do, because you're not you do a lot of great things for the community.
You know what? It's not exactly about me, but I do want you all to stay informed about Women's Support and Women's Support Group. I'm blessed, you guys, and I know that what I'm doing is what God has allowed me to do. And now I know my purpose, and I know that I didn't go through the things in life that I went through just because. I went through all those things, so now I can help you get through them. I'm now experienced in all those things, no matter what it is. I've been through it. And if I haven't been through it, somebody very close to me has been through it. So I'm here to help. And if I can help save the world, that's what I'm going to try to do with one woman at a time. Again, we are mothers. It's not easy for us. We all keep that smile on our face and we keep that S on our chest, but we all go through things. So I want to support each and every woman that I can in whatever it is. If you need beds, if you need soap, toilet paper, whatever it is, reach out to me. If you need a light bill paid, whatever it is, if you need a tire change, whatever it is that you need and you genuinely need it, you reach out to me and I'll be more of assistance. I'm a doer. So I will show you what Women Supporting Women can do for our women. And it's only because we have children and we have to stop this gun violence. We have to stop everything that's going on, and how we stop it is being more involved in our children's lives, being right there on point, and letting them know that we're going to get through this together. And you are. So I'm here. Thank you, Betty. I love you, sis. I'm here, and I want you guys to try me, test me. If it's something that you need, reach out to me, because see me, I don't have all that sponsorship and stuff from grants and all that kind of stuff. I don't have that, but I have personal sponsors. I have people who's willing to help. So the money is not an issue. The need is not an issue. So if it's something that you need, you guys let me know and I can help you. But please be one of those people who genuinely need it. Reach out to me. My number is 954-371-6755. Again, my number is 954-371-6755. If there is something that you need.
Hold up. You said something about a light bill.
Yes, we help with because we partner with so many different agencies. When I refer you to an agency, you're going to get the help that you need. I've already built the relationships. So you need rental assistance, you let me know. The only thing that's a little tricky is the housing, and everybody know that. But still, I can make a phone call. If you need furniture, I've built the relationship with Rooms to Go, where you can go and get a furniture set that would cost normally $1,500, $2,000, and you can get it for $500 or less. because of the relationships I built. And that's what I do. I go out in the community with different organizations and I build relationships so that when my people, when they need help, and I say, call this person or call this or that person, you're going to get the help that you need. You're going to get the services that you need. So, you guys, like I said, Women Support and Women Support Group is real. It's not a joke. And God gave me this vision with the help of God gave me the vision. He gave it to me. And I have to do what I have to do to make sure that we are all okay. If you have children that are in trouble, we have help for that too. All you have to do is reach out to me and I can help you with whatever it is. I feel like this radio show is going to help me reach more people than anything. Word of mouth is great, but not everybody is willing to tell their story. Not everybody, is willing to ask for help. But with this radio station, and I'm telling you, and I'm giving you my information, you can call me on your own and I can help you with whatever it is that you need. Women Supporting Women has helped so many women already. During the pandemic, with food, I gave out $50 gift cards to about 500 people. These are people that reached out to me word of mouth. I didn't post it because I didn't want everybody, just any and everybody. It was for women that was in need. And trust me, I got rid of all of them. And that was done by a private donor. So, things like that, whatever it is that you need, please, you guys reach out to me. And I would say this every day, every Friday that I'm on the air, I will let you know that that's the purpose of Women Supporting Women. It's to provide resources and services and to help you overcome. If you need counseling, if you need to talk, if you have issues with your kids and you need somebody to talk to your kids and help your kids, all these services are available right here through Women Supporting Women. And I'm not just saying it. I want you guys to try me. I'm a doer. And like in the Bible says, God said, be a doer. And that's what I am. And because of it, he's given me the resources and God has given me favor, absolute favor. And because of it, I have to do his will. You guys, I spent over 20 years of my life selling drugs. I tore the streets up. I was a millionaire from selling drugs. And it's my story. It's nothing I can lie about. But those same streets that I destroyed, I'm in those same streets giving back, cleaning up. And I will continue to do it. I lived a fabulous life. I'm living a fabulous life now. But I don't have to look over my shoulder. I don't have all that other stuff that I had. I don't care about none of that. It was taken from me in 3 hours. The feds came and took everything from us, left me and my children sleeping in the back of Parkway Hospital, North Shore Hospital for 3 nights. And the only reason why I was trying to figure it out, but it wasn't for me to figure out, it was for me to surrender. So at that time, when my daughter now got to do number 2, that's when I called my pastor and told him what happened. And the pastors took us in for a few days. And the church put down for me and my kids to get in a little small house. I went from living in a $5 million mansion to a little small house, which was our home. And that was the best thing ever happened to me. And God, he got my attention and he was able to cleanse me. And now I am who I am. Like I said, those same streets that I was in, I'm still in them, but I'm cleaning it up and I'm helping my people. And when this organization started, it was actually supposed to be for the girls in Liberty City, in the low income areas, and the women who are scuffling and struggling to take care of their kids. But we had all kind of women to the meeting, doctors and lawyers and judges and anesthesiologists, you name it, they were there because they too have issues. And we have to be there for everybody. But like I said, COVID, we can't have the meetings anymore, and that's fine. But we have this radio station now that we can still give information and still you can reach out to me. We can still help families. And that's my whole goal. We can still help families. So I want you guys to always tune in every Friday from 6 to 9. Again, if you need anything, you reach out to me. I'm here. Viv, I'm Lady Viv. And if you don't know, now you know.
Ninja. If you don't know, now you know, ninjas. Hey, I
So,
talked to Nikki. You know, you're getting a lot of responses here
oh, okay.
from
Hey,
people.
Nikki, how are you?
And you got Tish Hoskins. You know, you might want to greet your people, tell them
Hey,
how y'all
Tish
doing.
Hopkins, thank you so much for tuning in.
Nikki Stubbs.
Amen.
and
Yes, Nikki.
Big shout out. She naming people
Yeah, big
that we
shout
actually
out.
know, like you know,
Yeah.
like Sophia Linton. If it's the same Sophia, I know her. Melissa Ann Williams. So Rebecca MC Vaughn. Is it MC Vaughn?
That's him. That's her. Yeah, she'll
Okay.
be here. Nikki, Rebecca will be here in a few minutes.
Perfect.
She's gonna do a piece tonight on domestic violence. So thank you so much for tuning in. God bless you, Nikki, and thank you for tuning in. Yes, and you guys listen. For any woman out there who has a story that you think will help another woman change her mindset, change her ways, or that she needs to hear, reach out to me. You need to be on the show. Because God allowed us to go through things so that we can have a story to tell. And not only that, it's going to help someone else. And that's the whole purpose of our trials and tribulations. He only few are called, but many are called, but few are chosen.
Yes.
So the few that are chosen, you're going to go through a hell of a lot, but it's all purposeful. So embrace what you go through and just continue to give God the glory, and he'll get you out of it. Trust me. So again, Women Support and Women Support Group every Friday from 6 to 9. Tune in on www.wmrronair.com.
Yes.
Okay, and this your girl, Lady Viv, and love you, boo. Hey, Minnie, love you too, babe. Thank you so much. Hey, Kill, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. So, we're waiting. Let me see. What time is it?
We got 6:20 on the clock.
Okay, so 6:30, Miss Kim Hurt will be on live. She's going to educate us again about breast cancer. I'm just listen. Cancer took out my entire family. My mom died of colon cancer. My dad died of kidney cancer. My uncles, my aunts, my grandmothers on both sides, grandfathers, they all died of some type of cancer. And cancer tried to invade my body back in 2012 and 2014. And each time God healed me with no chemo, with no medicine, no radiation, no nothing. God healed me. And Dr. Harris from North Shore Hospital, he believed it. But a lot of the nurses, and they just didn't believe it, thought it was a machine malfunction. But no, it's how God has used me and how he's using me. And that's a testimony that I must give. My belief and my faith in God is so strong. And I don't want to make this religious, but I have to acknowledge him no matter what, and everything that I do. So when she come on, she's going to educate us, and after her, Butterfly is going to come on, and we're going to celebrate you guys. We're going to play some music. We got food, we got drinks, and we just going to enjoy ourselves this evening for the Women Support and Women Support Group talk show. Again, Women Support and Women Support Group, we address all needs and concerns that women have dealing with mentally, physically. We deal with strengths and make sure that you're stable and that, you know, we have solutions of your problems. That's the whole purpose of it. And we're not going to bring you in and do all kind of intakes and all that. We need the information, but that's not the problem. It's going to be solutions. We're going to get to the bottom of what the problem is. Also, I'm doing a turkey drive. So I will let you guys know the date and time of where you could come get a turkey. At that time, when you pick up a turkey, you can sign up for Christmas toys for your kids. So once I get your information and you come and get a turkey, I'll give you a form to fill out. And that way you can let me know how many children you have, girl or boy. And I'll let you know that I can send you, whether it's via email or by phone call, I'll let you know whether Christmas give back will be. So Thanksgiving and Christmas is coming. I want to help you guys with that as well. So anybody who's in need of a turkey, again, I want you to contact me via phone. My number is 954. You can put it in there. 954-371-6755. And Yeah, put the phone number. So that's my number, 954-371-6755. And my email is vision, VISION, the number 2, values, VALUES, number 2, at gmail.com.
Let's go back to the phone number
The
again.
phone number is 954-371-6755. So you can call me on that number. And that'll be for the Thanksgiving turkey giveaway.
And that email again?
The email is vision, VISION, number 2, values, VALUES, 2, at gmail.com.
All right, so y'all getting the information. You can find that information in the chat room. And it's here. There you go.
Oh, he was your doctor too, Nikki? Yes, he's a very good doctor. A very, very good doctor. Are you a survivor as well, Nikki?
Mm-hmm. She said she was.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. All right. Also, each Friday or maybe 2 Fridays, or depending on the conversation, I will have a male co-host in the building, because certain conversations we need a man's point of view. And I want to make sure, it's not controversial, but at least we can get another point of view, a male's point of view, right, Andre?
Most definitely.
So
gotta have a balance.
Exactly, to have the balance. So yeah, what time is it?
It's 24 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so 4 minutes until Miss Hurd come on. I want you guys to stay tuned so that you can hear this imperative information. Today is the 30th of October. We are still in domestic violence, breast cancer, and bullying month. We have one more day left in this month, so I did want to get that in before the month was out. So she'll be on in about 3 more minutes, and you can hear more information about her. Again, you guys, if you have Nikki, 23-year-old. She's 23.
Yeah, she's 23 years old.
Oh,
Nikki
you're 23-year-old.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So she's a domestic violence and breast cancer
right,
survivor. God
right.
bless you. So Nikki, make sure you take my number down, and you could call me if you want tonight after 9 or tomorrow, whenever you're available. Give me a call. Let's talk. What else? Okay. And thank you all for tuning in on Facebook. I really appreciate it. And again, this will be every Friday night from 6 to 9. The Women's Support and Women's Support Group talk show is to help women overcome obstacles, to help women be better, to change their mindset, to grow.
She said no, she had cancer when she was 23.
Oh, okay. You had cancer when you was 23. Wow, that's young. Wow. But you're a survivor, thank God. So yes. Wow. So make sure, Nikki, you stay on when Miss Hurd come on. Because I know that she would want to talk to you. So
Definitely.
Right?
That's outstanding.
Yeah. How are you feeling, Nikki? I guess she's going to type it in.
Yeah, she will.
Yeah, she'll type it in. Okay, you guys. So again, Women's Support and Women's Support Group has taken off, and we are at flight. And this is not going to stop, Okay. Hi, Miss Hunter.
She said she went from selling dope to
I can't hear
her. Give me a second.
1 second. I'm going to add her on.
Yeah.
Add stream.
Add to stream. Hey, can we hear you?
Hi.
How you doing? There you go.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. You taking the time out to come on Women's Support and Women's Support Group talk show and educate us about breast cancer. You guys, we have Miss Hunter, Miss Kim Hunter. She's the president of I'm sorry, Miss Kim Hurd. I do apologize, Miss Hurd. She's the president the board president of the Susan G. Corman Foundation here in Miami and in Fort Lauderdale. She's a 25-year breast cancer survivor, and she's going to educate us and inform us this evening about breast cancer. Ms. Hurd, again, thank you so much for being here, and the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. And thank you for having me. I think this is an awesome, and I don't use that word lightly, forum for women to get together. And I plan to join after this, now that I know about it. So again, I'm a 25-year survivor. When I was diagnosed in 1995, I was 38 years old. And I realized quickly the disparities in healthcare as related to African American, across the continuum of care. So I wanted to change that. And I was introduced to Komen a year later. I just quit my job. I gave up. I gave up my COBRA insurance because it was really expensive. I was a widow, trying to be an entrepreneur, and thought I could save some money. And 6 months later, I was diagnosed with breast cancer.
Wow.
And being uninsured, it was just crazy. And like I said, a lot of disparities. And when I was introduced to Komen, they were already addressing disparities in the continuum of healthcare as it related to African Americans. And I thought, this is the place for me to be. And so some of what we do is, everything we do is through fundraising. And we have grantees in the community. We cover Dade, Broward, and Monroe counties, all the way to Key West.
Wow.
And we provide, through the resources, some of our grantees are Holy Cross Hospital and Memorial Breast Health Center in Broward, and David Jackson Hospital, and Miami Cancer Institute. And in Key West, we have Womankind. And there are other smaller ones in between. And an uninsured woman is able to get diagnostic screening, 3D mammograms, ultrasounds, MRIs, chemotherapy, radiation, lymphedema treatment. That's when your arm swells. And we have a once-a-year financial assistance fund. So once a year, a patient can get $300 to help with meds, childcare, daycare, adult care, transportation. And it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but when you don't have any,
right,
a little bit helps. Wish we could do more. And the need is growing. COVID has put a lot of things on pause. The breast cancer doesn't stop.
Absolutely.
So we can't stop what we're doing. So that's kind of how we deliver our services. And again, the need is growing. And so we're always asking. And outside of COVID, we look for volunteers, but right now we're not doing that. We just did our annual virtual walk on the 17th. And it was the first. It was interesting. It was a lot of fun. It was fun on the invention side. All of us are having to reinvent. So, but it worked. And again, we're able to serve, all the women and men, because of course men get breast cancer as well. And to just cite, for the young folks, the young gents, you would probably recognize Beyonce's father. He's a recent breast cancer survivor. And for the more seasoned gents, Richard Roundtree, who played Shaft originally, he's a breast cancer survivor. And of course, there are many others, but that's just to name a few. So guys have to do their due diligence as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. That's crazy. We were just talking about that, though.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how men could get breast cancer. Like, most people don't think that men could get breast cancer, but they can.
And they're in denial.
If you know how many men have said to me after hearing me speak, they'll say, well, men don't have breasts, they have chests. But we all start out with the same breast tissue. And women just grow breasts, they protrude, but it's the same tissue. And just a little FYI, a lot of times people think that to do a self-exam, it's just your breast. But you actually have breast tissue all the way up to your clavicle. all the way down to your rib cage, and pretty much as far around as you can reach under the other arm. All of that's breast tissue. So
Right.
when you're checking, you need to check it all. And usually give guys some homework, because some men do find their significant others lumps. So, that's a piece of homework that I'm sure they enjoy.
Find them lumps.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
I'm going to pause for a minute. I could keep going. Do you have any questions? Do you have any?
So what should, how often should a woman check her breasts?
Once a month, a week before or a week after her cycle, because during the week before and the week after, a lot of times your breast tends to be a little bit lumpier sometimes for some women, but definitely before that or after that. And it should be every month. Last year, and you know how like this year you can drink milk, it's good for you. Next
Right.
year it's not. Coffee, yeah. So last year, a group said that you shouldn't do the self-exams anymore. And myself and so many women I know found their lumps doing self-exams. And so I don't buy into that, and I'd ask everybody else not to. Do your part. And when you go for your annual PAPs, and I do hope you are going,
Right.
that you remind your doctor to do your clinical breast exam, because sometimes they'll skip it. And if you remind them, they can. It's really quick. It's not painful. And then there's the mammogram. And a lot of women shy away because it can be painful. And the more dense your breast and the larger they are, the harder they squeeze. And it can be painful. But what I'll say to you is that early detection helps save lives. And that momentary pain versus being on the other end of a chemo line, you would want to have that pain.
Right.
Because if, God forbid, something is detected, if it's early enough, a lot of times you don't need chemotherapy. Maybe a little radiation and maybe not. Again, the earlier it's detected, the less treatment you need. So those few moments of discomfort can save your life. And I used to do a prostate health education piece, my brothers. And
Okay.
breast cancer, with breast cancer, more white women get it, more Black women die from it, only because of late stage diagnosis. It's nothing genetic. Late stage diagnosis because we're not doing our part. The same with prostate cancer. More white men get it, more Black men die from it because our brothers don't want to go get that little quick, uncomfortable check, right?
You're talking to a survivor. I'm a prostate
Oh
cancer
my
survivor.
God, God
I was
bless
diagnosed in 2016. Yeah, so we in that fight. We throwing blows on it. Yeah.
I have a little bell I ring.
That part. So I'm relating 100%. There you go. There you go. Yes.
I'm happy for you. And that, it makes a difference in when you're diagnosed. So as African Americans, we have to be more diligent about our health care. And with women, we tend to be caregivers, and that's fine. But when something happens to you, then who's going to carry on?
Right.
And, so you have to take care of you.
Absolutely.
And again, early detection helps save lives.
Absolutely.
Yes, it does.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah. She got me amped now when she said
Yeah,
that.
because I didn't want to spill the beans until you came on. That's one of the reasons Andre is here, because he is a prostate cancer survivor. So yeah, and he wasn't going to miss this for nothing in the world. So
Yeah.
Are
Nothing in the world.
Andre, are you sharing with your brothers?
Oh, yes. I'm about to enter into a whole campaign, and I'm going to become the face of prostate cancer for Black and brown men, just as a support of the education and awareness of it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, sister. Yeah, we've been doing this. Excellent. I feed off of your energy. So
Listen,
thank you.
and
Thank you for
can
this.
send me some stuff and I'll share it, because listen, we all have to, it's a village, we all got to do our part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm happy to hear that, you survived and you're thriving. And so I'll segue from that a little bit if it's okay and tell you what breast cancer is.
Okay.
And it's just tumors that kind of go rogue and they
Yep.
start growing abnormally. And we all have um, um, mm, I can't think of the word right now, but they're bad cells. We all have them, and it's
Yeah.
just what happens to them, um, in that process. And so I learned I was a part of a group called the MBLIC, National Black Leadership Initiative on Cancer. It was born out of Morehouse's School of Medicine, and it was founded by Dr. Satcher and Dr. Lewis Sullivan. One was the Surgeon General under Clinton, and one was the Surgeon General under Reagan. And I was afforded the opportunity. It was a room full of African American oncologists from across the country. And I learned that when you have a tumor, when you can feel it and it's the size of like a pea or smaller, it's probably been growing in your body for 10 years.
Yeah.
So,
That's a fact.
right.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and what you eat now will
Mhm.
show up in your body 10 years from now. So when we eat all that crazy stuff when we're young, it
Mhm.
catches up to you.
AK, oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're giving it to me right now because I preach this every day. I really
Oh,
do.
wow.
I do. I
Okay.
do. Yeah.
And confirmation, right?
Yes, it is.
And so, um, and then when the tumor grows, there's so many different types of cancer, so many types of breast cancer, and we could have the same type and it affect us differently. And just because you feel something when you're doing your self-exam, the whole premise of that is that you become familiar with your breasts. Your breasts are lumpy, bumpy, fibrous, but what happens is when you feel something that you didn't feel before, now this feels different from what I felt. And that was the same for me. I found my lump doing a self-exam, and I'll tell you more about that later. But no one I had never been around anybody that was really preaching it. I'm Bahamian descent, and my culture, everything was cloaked in secrecy. If you had cancer or something that made you lose weight, they called everything consumption.
Mhm.
So I couldn't say if I had a family history. I had no idea. And I decided that I want to change that. And so here I am, and here we are having this conversation. And I hope that people listening will not leave it here. I hope you learned something from this. If not, if you already know everything that I'm saying, I hope that you're sharing it with your village so that everybody will be informed. Information, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
we need to strengthen our community so that these diseases don't run rampant and we change the statistics, with us dying more than other people, although we're not getting it more, we can change that. We can definitely change it, and it's by dispelling all the myths and rumors. So most tumors are slow growing, and again, there's so many different kinds. And I have a friend that has breast cancer in both breasts, and in both breasts there are different cancers.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy to treat.
Wow.
So I remember I have two granddaughters I call my cupcakes. They're 19 and 14 now, but when they were like 9 and 5, they could almost talk to you at a breast cancer table because I took them everywhere. Same thing with my nephews, they're in their 20s. And so one of them, he was 17, and he found a lump in his breast, and he knew what to do. He was checking, and he told his mom, and he's like, we got to call Aunt Kim, you know, and that he knew at 17. It was only from him hearing, and who knew that they were listening?
Mhm.
Who knew? So, um, everybody, we have to educate our young ladies as well. used to do a piece where we went in high schools doing breast health education. And every school we went to, there was always someone with either the grandmother or the mother or an aunt going through it. So keep talking about it, keep the conversation going. So there's some warning signs. I'm going to pause for a minute. Does anybody want to jump in, have a question, say something?
Any questions? Anyone?
Okay.
You can continue.
Some of the signs are puckering, dimpling. If you're not lactating, there shouldn't be anything coming from your nipples, no discharge, something that feels different, a change in the look of your skin. Sometimes it can start to look a little rough, the skin just not look like it normally looks. And again, you have to do your due diligence and watch, check. I can't do everything right here, but when you do it, I'm going to do my hand. Let me see if you can see my hand.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, we can see it.
And this is your breast. So you start from the outside of your breast and you come in and you kind of do pie slices. But when you're doing it, I'm going to do the back now. I'm going to rub the back of my hand, right? And then you go around doing those pie slices. And then you come back and you rub a little bit deeper.
Lift your hands just a little higher.
Okay.
Yeah, right there. Yeah.
You come back and you rub a little deeper, going kind of in circles, from the outside of the breast coming into the nipple. And we're going to say that this is the nipple down at the fingertips. And so you're coming out, and then you're coming in. But each time, and then you're going to do like 3 all the way around, but each time you're going to press a little bit harder. And then you want to stand in front of a mirror and raise your hands above your head. And just look from side to side. And everything should look like smooth skin, right? Then you want to put your hands on your hips and do the same thing. And if you see any dimpling, any change, any dip, or anything, then that should not be happening. If your nipple, like a inversion.
Like indent.
Yeah, indent. Yeah.
Oh,
indent.
okay.
If you don't have inverted nipples and they suddenly start to invert, that's not a good sign. It doesn't have to be cancer. And remember, every little thing you see does not have to be cancer, but it's better to be safe than sorry and to go on and check it out.
Okay.
That's very interesting. I do have a question for you. We have a question from someone.
Okay.
The question was, how often do you guys march? How often is there events centered around breast cancer, and how often do you conduct it within a year or within a time frame?
So in the past, we've done the walk once a year, every year in October down at Bayfront. Thousands of people, huge.
I've been to them. Yeah.
Okay. And it's amazing to see so many people, it's like a melting pot from all walks of life. And everybody's there on one accord. Either you're a survivor and people are, or you're a supporter and people are cheering on the survivors. And we do a survivor procession. And when you do it, to see the ocean of people just screaming and cheering you on, it's bringing tears to my eyes. But, it's just a reminder that you're never alone. Right. And I can tell you, and I think, Andre, you can identify with this. I had a loving, supportive network around me. I did, and I do.
I do.
Thank you, God.
Yeah,
but
I do.
At the same time, there's that feeling like you're kind of alone.
Yeah.
Because they don't really. And did you have chemo, Andre?
No, I did 39 treatments of radiation. I did have a form of chemo, but it wasn't direct. It was in the form of Casodex.
Okay. So, there are times on that journey where that your family loves you and they empathize.
Right.
But one of those things, if you haven't walked in those shoes,
right, you better say it.
You cannot
understand. You better say it. Right.
I remember watching my dad go through cancer. He had head and neck cancer. By the time he died, it was like a pineapple sitting up here. And I had a tumor here about 10, 12 years ago, but it was benign, thank God. So I remember looking into his eyes, and I could see the anguish, the suffering, but he never complained, not
Mhm.
Not
once.
once.
And he was my role model. I never complained. I never thought, because of my faith, I never thought that cancer was going to kill me.
Me
But
too.
I
I feel
thought
the
that
same
chemo
way.
was going to kill me. I
Right,
did.
me too. Like this medicine they giving me.
Oh my
Cancer not gonna
God.
kill me. What they giving me is gonna kill me.
I
Yes.
could not. I could do all I
Yes.
could do. I
Yes.
had a recliner in my room,
Right.
and I had to map out a plan in my head to get out of the bed and get to the recliner. 4 steps, right? To go to the bathroom. Oh, that was a whole mental preparation thing,
Yeah.
you know. And when I look back on it now, I remember the night before my surgery, my daughter was 19, and she was home from her first year at Cookman. And didn't want to go back, but I insisted. It was August, right? And I sent her to get a journal for me that I never wrote in. And she came back, and I could tell she'd been crying. And I was like, "Baby, what's wrong?" And she's like, "Mommy, why did this have to happen to you?" And I told her, I never asked that, and I know a lot of people do. A lot of people get angry, but Holy Spirit in me, it was like it's gonna be okay, and God can take what looks dark and
Yes.
just show you the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yep.
And so I held on to that, but there were truly days when I couldn't think a prayer through because that chemo was just emaciate, just drained me of all my energy, all my strength.
Mm.
But I knew that Holy Spirit can interpret moans.
Hmm.
And
Wow.
so, yeah, I'm on my Jesus kick right now.
We ain't
I
mad.
Mm.
We are not
the
mad.
Holy Spirit, and that's what my pastor at the time, he knew that if I opened my mouth, I'd get sick. So he'd call me and he'd say, "Don't say anything." And he'd just pray and he'd hang up. And I cannot tell you what that meant, you know. And a lot of times tears come to my eyes like they're coming now, but they're tears of joy. It was a tough journey. I still have there Helen Steiner Rice has a poem, Bending the Road. And I still have bends. I use oxygen sometimes because the radiation ping my lungs. I have friends that are angry, really angry about having had breast cancer. I met some wonderful people, and the beauty of it all is I'm still here. I remember praying and asking God to let me see my grandchildren, see my daughter get married. And he gave me all that and so much more. But, when I tell you it's a hard journey, and sometimes as a supporter, people don't know what to say. And when you don't know what to say, like don't do the I understand. I understand what you just tell them I'm here for you. I'm here for you. That's it. I'm here for you.
Okay. We have a caller on. She said that she was diagnosed with stage 3B inflammatory breast cancer.
Hmm.
And she said she had the dimples and the pus and the blood from her nipple area. And it was hot to touch.
Hot to touch.
Okay. But she said, however, because she was also in a domestic abuse relationship, she ignored the lumps because that was normal for her after a day of battle with the man she thought loved her. So she went through chemotherapy. She said it was something horrible. And she said her BRCA 1 and 2 was negative.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
And the BRCA1 and 2 just means that she doesn't carry the gene that she could pass on to her daughter,
Right.
or son, because it can go to the son and go through him into his daughter,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. And I'm sorry that she's had those kind of bends in her road. And I hope that she's in a better place, and that she's hopefully enjoying some peace now. Um, and where is she now in her breast cancer journey?
Where are you now, Nikki, in your journey? Wait, scroll up. Didn't she say she was let me see.
She went from selling dope to selling hope. All right. Fact, she's just agreeing, and then what you read, she didn't really say where she's at right now.
Okay.
Oh,
16
years
years
remission.
Oh, great.
And
Great.
she was diagnosed the first time at age 23?
At 23.
23 years old.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
she's
wow.
nice. Congratulations.
Nikki.
Is she of Bahamian descent? Can you
Nikki,
ask?
are you Bahamian descent?
Ms. Hurd, I want to ask a question. Do you think that, and this is not off top, it's off of the breast, but because my blood, I have Jamaican blood.
Okay.
And what I was told was that cancers, and you're saying, asking about island descent, it seems as though if you're from the island or if you have island descent, then the
No.
probability may be likely that you're going to get some form, because my grandfather passed away from prostate cancer. And the funny part about it is I always felt like I would be the one to get it. I just felt it.
Yes.
But I wasn't afraid. Like when I was told I had cancer, I wasn't scared of it.
Once it's someone in your family that close has had it, it predisposes you to that. So that's why, let's say men start getting their prostate checked at 30 or 40.
Right.
If you have a history in your family, you should start earlier. My daughter started at 20, because there was a history.
Right.
So my oncologist assistant saw the correlation in younger African American women of Bahamian descent getting breast cancer. And so my oncologist did a study, and she was chief of oncology at UM Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's a little bit been promoted to something else, but still in that department.
Right.
And what they found was, at the time, I used to go over to in the Bahamas in Nassau. They had that walk in January, and the statistics in 2010, I think it was that 50% of women under 40 would be diagnosed with breast cancer. And if you saw the number of women with strollers at that walk, that were survivors, it was bone chilling. And so that's why I was asking you if Nikki was of Bahamian descent. The youngest one I met was 14 years old. Can you imagine?
Wow.
14
Wow.
years old. Yeah, and she was Bahamian. She was from Nassau. So in the genetic study that they did, they were able to trace one of the genes back to Africa. But genes are really complicated, and like the same gene that was attached to could have an intelligence gene attached. So it's really complicated, and I can't go in more depth than that. I'm not a clinician. But what I do know is they traced it back to Africa. And so they started going from island to island. They went to Jamaica, they went to different islands in the Bahamas,
Mm-hmm.
and then they saw the same correlation with women Latinas. So they started doing a study there. Something that we share with Ashkenazi Jews is that same genetic tracing. They are more predisposed like we are, women of Bahamian descent. And I sat on a panel with an Ashkenazi Jewish lady, and there were just so many similarities. And so now Mayo Clinic, National Institutes of Health, they all have a lot of documentation, on the two ethnicities.
Miss Hurd, I have a question. I was told if you have cancer and once air hits it, it spreads.
Yeah.
I believe that to be true because when I had no idea even what an oncologist was. I had no idea about cancer until we found out a week before my mom died. And this woman, and this is where I learned to be strong in everything that I go through, because she was dealing with the world's problems, everybody's problem. My mom was a psychologist, and she worked with youth and family development, Miami-Dade County, for 43 years. And she was dealing with everybody's problems, her family problem, everybody's problems. and she walking around with stage 4 cancer. She told us a week before she died that she had cancer. And on her dying bed, she asked me to take care of my dad. So I took care of my dad for 5 years after she passed away in 2003. And my dad had renal cancer, kidney cancer. And I told the doctor, I asked him, I said, well, I found out that if air hits it, it'll spread. And he was like, well, he's going in with the laparoscopically, he's going to remove the cancer off his kidney. And he said my dad will be up and running in 2 weeks. Well, my dad died a week later from it. And after I buried my father, cancer, anything in life that you go through, and this is why this women's support group is so important to me, because when you're depressed or you're going through something mentally and you don't have somebody to walk you through it, to help you through it, you can burst. You can pressure, burst the pipes. Yeah. Right. So you can literally do damage, or you can hurt yourself or hurt, and the reason I say that is because I was going through so much with my dad. And when he died, I took it personal and I tried to kill the doctor. And I could say it because I'm telling you, God has used me. He has used me, and he's taken me. He's saved me from things. So when my dad died, I went to the doctor's office as though now mind you, I was still this dysfunctional person. My mindset was nowhere where it is today. So my whole way of solving problems was negative. It was negative. So I went to the doctor's office and I took a thank you card, but that was just to get his attention. So when he finished, I stayed there from 3:00 after my kids got out of school. I told my husband to take them home, because they usually after school we pick them up, they go get a snack or something to eat, and they go home, take a shower, do their homework. And I told him to go take the kids home and come back for me. And I knew it will probably be the last time I see my children, because I had to revenge my father's death. So when I went to the doctor's office, I waited till he saw his last patient. It was, I remember the police report said 5:48. So when I went into the doctor's office and Miss Brown, come on in. He invited me in his office, and when I went in, I locked the door and I beat him half to death. He was in a coma for 6 months. I stayed in jail the entire time. They said one more blow and he would have died. They tried to give me life in prison, but he came to court on a hospital bed, and he fell out the hospital bed and he begged them to drop the charges. And he told them that he had lied to me, and then he told me that my father was going to live, and he knew my father was going to die. So I'm here today. All the charges got dropped, and that's nobody but Jesus. And that's why my women support and women organization is so important, because I have to be able to save another woman, because she might not be as lucky as I was. She might not be as lucky as I was. So that's why I am here. It's so important, because we go through so much in life till it mentally triggers, our mind. And if we don't have somebody, not everybody know God. Not everybody trust him like you do. Not everybody have a relationship. That's why anybody I come in contact with, I always tell them, make sure you have a personal relationship with Jesus.
Yes.
With God. Because just because you serve who you serve, just make sure you have a personal relationship with God. Because when push come to shove, you got to talk to him. You got to invite him in, and you got to ask him to help you and get you through. I've never seen, that 6 months, you would never know I even been in the jail. And the thing about it, the whole time I was in jail, I was in the hospital because I didn't eat. I didn't eat or drink because I didn't want to have to use the bathroom, because I have OCD so bad. I was in the hospital the entire time. So I'm telling God have a way of using us and taking us through trials and tribulations so that we can be here today to help somebody else get through.
That's it. That's it. That's a powerful testimony. To answer your question, air doesn't make the cancer spread. I'll give you an example. just from diagnostic screening, what they call an FNA, a fine needle biopsy, a fine needle aspiration. It's a biopsy. When they take the needle, stick it in, and draw out, from within the tumor. Um, I was told going in that a lot of times once they get in, because they can't see everything from screening. So once they get in, a lot of times it's more complicated than what they were able to see. And I was asked if it's more complicated, because the plan was a lumpectomy. If it's more complicated, should we go ahead and do what we need to do, or wake you up, have another consultation on what we found, and then go back in? I told him, do what you need to do. But I have a very good friend who wanted, no, stop what you're doing. Wake me up. Let's do another consultation. But I opted for, hey, just go for it. Do what you need to do. So a lot of times when they go in, while they told you it was XYZ, a lot of times that's all that they could see through the screening. And then they get in, and you know how organs are on top of organs and that kind of thing. And they see sometimes it's wrapped around something else. Sometimes it turns out to be inoperable. I feel bad that he lied to you, because he could have easily told you it was inoperable. That would have been the right thing to do. Be honest. I
But
can't.
also because of my dysfunction, I probably didn't want to hear it, because when you are a negative person and you have a negative mindset, you're gonna think how you want to think. Nobody, a person could sit here and tell you the sky is blue, and the sky is blue, but if you want to believe that it's green, you're
Yeah.
gonna believe that until you change your mindset.
Right.
And that's what I had to do. And I realized everything I've been through in life, God, He let me get low, but He never get so low that I couldn't rise back up.
Mm-hmm.
And He sheltered me, and He covered me until I realized that the problem was me.
That part.
I had to change
That
me.
part. That's true.
I
Okay.
can't blame nobody. I had to change me, and that's what I did.
We were talking. I was talking earlier about the myths that are prominent in my culture, in Bahamian culture, and that's one of them. After I had my surgery, a week later, my aunt called me, and she's like, "Oh, don't let him cut you," because my uncle, her husband, my uncle, had already passed away, maybe 3 years prior, and but he had cancer a lot longer than he said, and just not disclosing, not talking about it, not getting treated. So she was under the same impression that if they cut you, it's going to spread, because she thought that's when his cancer went everywhere. But when he was diagnosed, they found the secondary spot. It wasn't even the primary spot. He had cancer of the lungs. That was the primary cancer. But by the time they found it, it was in his spine. So that's distant metastasis, right? And
Yes.
but she thought that, she really believed, and then other people said it to me, why would you let them cut you in my mind, I could see like a little Pac-Man, just going crazy. And I thought, when they diagnosed me, I thought that from that point right there, I walk out of here, get on a table, and you get this out of me. Like, I want it out. But it was 3 weeks. It was a good 3 weeks. I had a consultation with every type of oncologist, psych, radiation, hematology, you just name it. Every type of oncologist you could think of. And we were right there in Sylvester. My mom, my sister, and my daughter were with me. We were not rushed in every question that we could think of that we wanted to ask. They sat there, patiently asked. It was a little overwhelming because my mom was not handling it well. And I asked if I could just walk out into the hallway for a minute and, clear my head, take a deep breath. And they were like, yeah, take your time. And I must have walked around out there for 5 minutes just by myself praying. And I went back in, and nobody was rushing, looking at their watches or anything. So, but to get back to what you were saying, there are so many myths, and we die because of those myths.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed by your story. Like, I didn't know all of that. Like,
Let
okay.
me let me add a couple more things when I was talking about screening and everything. And
Mhm.
it's important to watch your alcohol consumption. Uh,
Yes.
a couple glasses a day is okay. And I know that it's 5 o'clock somewhere and all that stuff. But, overindulging, just like with food,
You
um,
better say it.
it's
Yep.
not proven. But then when you look at most diseases across the board, um, your weight and alcohol intake play a
Yes.
part. So, you have to do the whole picture and not leave anything out.
Right.
What about wine?
Wine is fine. Alcohol, it's fine. Um,
Okay.
red wine is supposed to be good for you, right?
Yes, right.
She winked.
Right. But yeah, we all have to watch our diets. I think that's important in everything,
Yeah, we do. We,
spiritually, everything.
we
Yeah,
do.
I
We
agree.
do. Because what you put into your body, and I heard a doctor say that number one, if you can't pronounce it, you
You
know,
shouldn't eat it.
and if your
You better
grandmother
say it.
grandmother didn't know what it was,
Right.
You better say it.
grandma, ate whole foods.
Yes.
Grandma ate whole foods. So when you start talking about all the stuff that they put in foods, preservatives, and all that, that's a whole nother discussion. But it definitely plays a part. You know,
Let me ask the question. What about sugar in cancer? I reduce my
yeah,
sugar intake
yeah, that's
drastically.
important.
Yes,
That's
very
important for
important.
some
So
reason.
that's the reason why I don't indulge in drinking because there's a lot of sugar. Well, maybe not in hard hard alcohol, maybe
Yeah,
not, but
yeah.
and like drinks, mixed drinks, there's a lot of sugar, and
It
sugar is horrible for cancer.
it is. It absolutely is.
Yes.
I have a question. Nikki, she said, God blessed her womb. She said during her 17th chemo treatment, she found out she was pregnant. Her daughter is now 15 years old.
Wow.
Yes, and
I
she said
gotta
she went
refill.
through
I know, right?
many trials and
Nikki.
tribulations. But this is the question that I have. What she just said. She said when she was diagnosed with breast cancer, she was a welfare recipient, and Medicaid refused to pay for any tests and procedures.
Hmm.
um the amazing general surgeon, he refused not to care for her, so she was fortunate in that situation. But what happens with women who either don't have insurance or only have Medicaid? How can they get tested, and how can they get the care that they need?
Okay, that's where Komen comes in. So,
Okay, very important. Okay.
the services I talked about that we provide, it's
Okay.
for uninsured and underinsured women and men, and um, undocumented as well. Because sometimes we try not to let anybody fall through the cracks. We try to remove all barriers. We do a community profile every 5 years. And to give you an example, when we did one, I think it was in 2010, in talking to the LGBT community,
Mhm.
um, they were saying that they were being left out of the conversations. So we had intentional focus groups and partnered with a doctor from one of the Keys, and she's from that community. And she was able to link a lot of stuff. Like right now, we're having conversations with the metastatic community.
Mm.
They are taking issue because we talk about survivors. They don't want to be called survivors. They want to be called thrivers. They don't want a pink shirt. They want a maroon shirt. And nobody ever thought about that. I thought that if you live another day, you're surviving. You live another minute, but for them, it means something different.
Mhm.
So you have to have your ears open in the community and understand from somebody else's shoes what they need. And then you do everything you can to meet them, with their needs. And so, um, all the things I told you that we provide. So if I have a number, and
Okay.
1-800
Okay.
go Coleman, Geo Coleman. And the number stands for 1-877-465-6636. And if you call that number, you can have assessment by an oncology social worker. There's psychosocial support. It's not just for survivors, it's for supporters too, because supporters need help as well. They need support as well. Breast cancer education and information about local resources. So God has blessed me in a way that somebody called me, they had a family member in Haiti. I had met this doctor only by email, a Haitian doctor in Haiti, only by email. And this lady was over there. She had been diagnosed like 9 months before, and she did a mammogram. And she was like, it was like 6 months later, and she was still waiting on the results, right? 6 months.
Mhm.
And so called this doctor. He got her going. He got her surgery. He got her treatment. So it's good to network with people.
Right.
And she didn't have to pay. So with us, all the services I mentioned, you don't have to pay.
Good.
Like anything else, you have to qualify. Number one, you cannot have insurance. Some people try to use us because they don't want to pay co-pays. That's not going to happen. If you have insurance, then you have insurance. If you're underinsured, some of the stuff we may be able to help with, depending on the income, but mainly it's geared towards uninsured men and women.
Uninsured and underinsured.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Okay, great. We got it.
Yeah.
Perfect. Is there anything else that we need to know? You have any other questions?
No,
Yeah.
I was very well informed. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, let me just share a few more things with you.
Okay,
Okay, good.
take off.
I see that you have Butterfly coming on.
Yeah, she's coming on. She's gonna be
Butterfly,
here.
we found out we were cousins in a crazy way. I'll
Wow.
let her tell you that story. We were at an event and we found out we were cousins, like way, generations removed.
Wow.
So when I was diagnosed, there were several things. I was 38 years old. Don't do the math. And no, I just turned 64 on the 17th, and I am
You look
really,
outstanding.
I am cheering.
That's
I'm
right.
so-
Ring the thing. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Ring that bell.
Yeah.
Ring that bell.
Wow.
So when I was diagnosed, they said I was too young for a mammogram. I didn't have insurance, but I had the money to pay. I was doing well in my business. I had the money to pay for it. They didn't want to give me a mammogram. I went to 3 places. And the last one, I sat there and cried because my lump was palpable. It hurt. I was told that it was probably from shaving or deodorant. And listen to your body. You're your own best advocate. And your body will tell you when something's not right. And when something hurts, if that hasn't been hurting, we need to find out why it's hurting. And so I sat there and cried. And I'm quoting, I was told, we're going to humor you and give you a mammogram. They did. And they immediately took me across the hall and gave me an ultrasound. Now I'm looking at the screen with them, and everything, I can't remember which the contrast was, but say if everything was white, the lump was black. Or if everything was black, the lump was white, right? So it's sitting there like, day and night. And next was the biopsy. And the doctor, he was so kind, and he tried to, act like everything was okay. But I could tell that it was something, and I'd already prayed about it. So that was one thing, the age thing. So now our Congresswoman, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who this year I think is an 11-year survivor, she supported us in so many ways. She sponsored a bill called the Early Act. And it has several components, but one of them being no woman, regardless of age, can be denied a mammogram, whether you know your history or not. And that's huge because so many women, like myself, reduced to tears, and now you see that what if I had left here and listened to you saying it was deodorant and it was already size 1, it was stage 1 with the size.
Right.
But when they went in, it was stage 2 because my lymph nodes were involved. So a good example of how they go in and find more. And what if I had not listened to myself, my body, right?
Right.
So then the thing was, I didn't have a family history. And now um, um, I participate in a lot of studies. Um, Psychological. I had a bad medical reaction when I had a tumor on my neck,
Mhm.
and I almost checked out of here. I had 3 doctors tell me they couldn't believe I was still here. And my thing was, you gave up, but God didn't. Thank you, Jesus.
That part.
But so I do psychological studies. And there's a Dr. Love, a male here on the East Coast, and there's a Dr. Love female on the West Coast. So the one on the East Coast, his study was to marry patients with doctors, with oncologists, because
Mhm.
oncologists were giving me the quote fingers. Textbook says the pain is, no, no, no. So now they listen more, and what they understand is that because of different cultures, a lot of stuff isn't talked about. And like myself, a lot of people do not know their family history. And then the other thing was pain. I had a pain, and I got all the doctors. I had 3 doctors telling me with quote fingers, textbook says that pain is not an indicator of breast cancer. Well, now if you look on the back of shower cards or on breast cancer literature, it will tell you if you have a pain that won't go away. So I've seen a lot of changes. I remember standing before the commission one year. They were in session, and we were working on getting insurance companies. I used to do advocacy for Komen as well, and we were working on getting insurance companies to pay for oral chemo. And so had a girl named Lisa. She's no longer with us, from Boca. And Lisa, if you've ever been down to their chambers when they're in session, you can be standing at that podium pleading your case, and they
Mhm.
might be texting on their phone. They might be talking to the person next to them. They can be a little bit on the rude side.
A
But
lot of it on the rude side.
Larcenia Bullard was still alive at the time, Commissioner Bullard. And she was a breast cancer survivor. And she kind of tapped and got everybody's attention. You could hear a pin drop. And Lisa held up a baggie. It had 3 bottles in it, and it was $8,000 a month for those 3 things. She had other things, meds she had to take, but it was $8,000 a month for that. Now she was okay financially, but after 5 years of $8,000 a month, in addition to all your other stuff, it had depleted her funds. And how many of us can afford 8,000 cash dollars a month for meds, right?
Right.
So they were able to get us bill sponsored, and it made its way on up the line to the House, to the Senate. And now most insurance companies will pay for um, a lot of different oral chemo. Not all yet, baby steps, but those are some of the groundbreaking achievements I've seen, and I've always been an advocate. People say for the underdog, but I like that scripture where God says, what you do to the least of these, you do to me. And so whenever I'm in an uncomfortable situation, and I know people that are influential, I could pick up a phone. If I go to Jackson, I could call Magoya. You know what I'm saying? But everybody cannot. And that's what I'm thinking about. What about that person that can't make that call? What's going to happen to them? What's going to happen? And they fall through the crack. It's too challenging, too daunting. So then they don't get treatment. They don't make their follow-ups with their doctors, and they just fall through the cracks. So those are some of the things that I've seen, great strides in. And yes, there's still a way to go. And but we won't stop until every story is a survivor story. Yay!
Yay.
Wow. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. We
You're
really appreciate
welcome.
all the information
Mhm.
and the wealth of knowledge that we gained today. Um, we shared the number, the 1-877-465-6636 number.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So if anybody, and I'll continue to share the number.
Okay. Okay.
Anybody in need of assistance, they can call that number to move
Okay.
forward in their
And
process.
if anybody ever needs some one-on-one help, you can share my number.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
my
I
email.
absolutely will.
Yes.
Wow, God bless you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to educate us. We really
Thank you
appreciate
for
it.
having me. I
Welcome.
enjoyed meeting you both.
Yes, absolutely.
Likewise, likewise. And yes, I want to stay in touch with her too, because
Absolutely.
I'm
Same
sure
here.
you have a plethora of information of how I could become better and how we can set up something better for men dealing with prostate cancer too.
I,
As well.
def- I definitely like to work with you on that.
Yes.
You know,
Thank you. I
yeah.
would definitely appreciate it. Yes.
Nice.
So
Okay.
we're gonna link up.
Yes.
Thank you, Miss Heard, so
Miss
much. Thank
Heard.
you.
You're
Bless
welcome.
you. And we'll talk soon.
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Thank you for your time.
Okay. Bye bye.
Well, all right.
All righty then.
So you heard Miss Heard. She's the board president of the Susan G. Komen Foundation, and she
Yes.
just educated us all about breast cancer. We're gonna take a 2 minute break, quick break, not even that, what, 2 minutes? Yeah, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back real soon. Yeah.
You still
Coming forward. Um, no. It's playing music right now.
they can still see us now.
Oh, just leave it. Yeah. Let's push that. Trying to do a butterfly. Butterfly.
Oh.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, no problem. We ready for you. She just got off up there. So we can wait on you. All right, drive safe. Okay. Okay, no problem. All right.
Well done, people! On your Android phone, iPhone, tablet, or desktop, you can vibe with us on WNRR.air.com for the Divas Live Show with our host, Flavia Diva, and me, Anaya Sunshine. And make sure you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
But that's good. It plays internally, not from the speaker.
If we turn off. All right, so we y'all coming back on the air. We take a little break. We just making sure y'all can see us. Let y'all know that we are coming back. And, yeah. So don't go nowhere. Just chill. Right now, participate in our mukbang. Mukbang right now.
Well, we are back on. You guys, thank you for tuning in to Women Supporting Women's Support Group. And I am so honored to say we have our second guest, my friend, Miss Rebecca Butterfly. Everybody know her by Butterfly Bond. She is in the building. And she's going to serenade. Is that a good word? She's going to serenade us this evening with her poetry that is so amazing. It's life changing. It gives us hope. It gives us love. It gives us power. And I want you guys to tune in and I want you all to embrace her. Yeah, Rebecca. Would you like to say anything? Because I know, we could talk.
We'll do it after.
So, okay, the floor is yours, Queen.
Brown skin eyes, 5'9" in height, chocolate water walking, intelligence drips from his lips, age of 23, body banging, swag in his walk, was always in awe when he was able to make his pecs move up and down. He called it the dancing chest. But he got hit harder than any blow to any human being's spirit when he was told at the age of 25 that he had breast cancer. Of course, time would pass on, move on, and he would stay in the ring to fight in the midst of this thing called life. Now he's knocking on that door of age 30. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm familiar with Double Jeopardy hosted by Alex Trebek. But with this gentleman here, his Double Jeopardy is he fell in love innocently, but with the wrong woman. See, she was bougie, a number 10 in the pocket, beautiful. She was like that arm candy. He was a blue collar worker at the same time. Didn't know that she was that type that needed everything at her beck and call. Insulted him behind closed doors, but out in public he wore a smile. Had the world thinking that everything was all right and that he had found his rib. But all the while behind closed doors, inwardly she was cracking his rib. See, he had breast cancer at 25. At 30, he was a victim of domestic violence. You notice I flipped the script. See, we women supporting other women, but men tend to speak out and express that it ain't nothing for them. There is no empowerment for them. There is no cause for them speaking on behalf of things that they go through as far as social issues and diseases. See, it is taboo when it comes to breast cancer and a man in association. It is taboo when it comes to domestic violence and a man in association. See, men are the taboo of it all. The statistics are very low, but at the end of the day, it's still something you need to know because they never lied when they said that knowledge is power. But education, if you never remember nothing else I tell you, education is key. Unlock your mental door.
Wow. Wow. And you guys, that came from here. That just came from the top of her head. That's not rehearsed or written. She just came up with that just now. That's just how God blessed her with the voice and the thought, and it's powerful, amazing, beautiful. I love her. I can listen to her forever. She's amazing. She is amazing. This is Rebecca Butterfly Bond, and the story that she just gave you, I hope you took it in and you got something from it, because breast cancer is very real. Domestic violence is very real. Bullying is very real. And this is why we covered this topic, on the 30th of October, the last 2 days left in this month, because it had to be covered. And she came in and she just gave us realness. And Nikki said her tears are liquid prayers. Amen. Amen. And when you feel something, you cry.
Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, you cry. That's a call to God for help.
Yeah.
Good or bad, a call to God for help. So thank you all. Oh, thank you so much,
No,
Rebecca.
thank you for having me.
I really
It's,
appreciate
it's a lot of people hurting out here, and that's just it. People ask what inspires my poetry, and that's what inspires it: life, social ills that we don't talk about. Um, I am in the middle of working on my 14th album.
Yeah, tell us about it.
And that's just it. Spike Lee, when he was working on his project, he did the GoFundMe thing. I'm not doing a GoFundMe. TLC, I'm not doing that. But if you want to contribute to the project, you're more than welcome to. Anyone who donates or sows a seed of $100, you will be listed and noted as a co-executive producer on the album. Every album that I have ever released, my executive producer is God.
Amen.
And then, of course, the co-executive producers is my angels, myself, and then, yes, anyone at that time, whoever contributed to the album. So you're more than welcome to do that. Or if you just want to pre-order in advance, you can Cash App $15. The CD is going to be $10. The other $5 covers the shipping and handling. So my Cash App is Soar Butterfly, and that's SOAR Butterfly, spelled the regular way, BUTTERFLY. I also have PayPal. It's paypal.me/keep soaring, KEEPSOARING. And then I also have Zelle. You can use my telephone number, 305-300-3227, or you can use my email address, and it's mindpensoul.rv@gmail.com. That's MIN, D as in David, P as in Papa, E as in Eric, N as in Nancy, SOUL.R for Rebecca, V as in Victor for my last name Vons at gmail.com. The title of the album is going to be Storm Survivor. I must say my graphic designer, she's working on it. She started already. You guys are definitely going to be amazed just by the album cover alone. She really went in to bring to life the title of the album. But the subject matters are going to be something for everybody. Of course, Nikki Stubbs, she inspired a piece called Liquid Prayers. And so definitely she'll be getting a shout out on the album.
Know her. Oh, great.
And
Nikki.
Nike and Tony Braxton inspired a piece called Do It. And then, of course, I'm a lover of music. And so the group Sky, they had a song back in the 1980 called Here's to You. And so basically what I did, I flipped it, and the title on the piece is going to be called A Poem for You. But it's in tribute to individuals who, struggle with their features physically or just self-esteem and just trying to fit in when, in all honesty, you were not born to fit in.
Right.
The only thing that we do not share in common is our fingerprints. Everything else is a balance of the spectrum with regards to, I'll be honest, the one thing that I hate with social media is people who post up, am I the only one? No, you are not the only one that dip your French fries in ice cream. You are not the only one that is still up at 3:00 in the morning. So with that being said, like I say, I'm working on it, and I'm looking forward to putting it out towards the middle part of December.
Nice. We look forward to it. And I'll make sure I put all your handles up on both Facebook and on this link as well. But we definitely, and come on, you guys, let's support what she does, because every poem that she do it changes someone's life. You may not believe it, but it does, because somebody would need to hear what comes out of her mouth. And I can agree that you do have impeccable vocabulary. So
Well, that's
yeah.
thanks to my daddy, who only had a 6th grade education.
Wow.
But he that's just it. You know, I'm the poet that I am, you know, because of him with regards to he educated himself. He was a well-known barber. He was known as the barber to the stars. I'm known as the poet to the stars. And he educated himself through the doctors and the lawyers and the teachers that sat in his chair. And of course, I don't remember the word, but at the time, you know, he had said he was having conversations with someone, and he said something, and it was just a particular word that he had used that stuck out. And I said, Daddy, I say, what's that word? And he said, look it up. I said, well, how do you spell it? He said, look it up. So basically, he was teaching me sound. And I fell in love with the dictionary, that I'm an acronym junkie. So, and I also delve deeper into words. So I don't just surface ride a word. I literally go deeper into a
The
word
origin
to make a person see it in a different light than what it is presented to them by definition.
Wow. Wow, that's powerful. Very powerful. Okay, you guys. So we thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm going to have Miss Ross come up and say a few words about some things that she got going on upcoming that you guys may want to know about and be involved in. I think it's very interesting, and it can help a lot of you guys change your financial situation. So Miss Ross, if you have a moment to come and speak. So she'll be up in one moment. What is the butterfly? Do the butterfly thing? Yeah. Yeah. Which one? Which one? Events? You talking about with Wanda or? Okay. You sitting down too? No.
I'm gonna stand up.
Okay. You can sit up there.
All right, what's up, everybody? So, like Lady V said, in regards to what's going on with the radio station, we do have our pop-up and shop. So I do want to stress, if you are a local small business, it really doesn't matter where you are, but especially if you are here in South Florida, it is imperative that you guys participate in these events, because these events are for you. I myself, other organizations, other leaders of the community put these events together solely for you to get out and promote your business, your product, or your service. And this is very beneficial for anybody who is operating their business out of their home, out of the trunk of their car, and who does not have a physical location. So this is what these pop-up and shops are all about. It gives you the opportunity to get out in the community, meet and greet, meet people, let people know who you are, what your product is, and how you can contribute to the local community. So I stress a lot about local businesses, because it is very important that these businesses get involved, because local businesses, they fuel our local economy. So this is what keeps the money within our economy, which allows us to be able to do certain things in the economy. So if we're circulating the money, then the city, the county has the money that it needs to be able to make improvements and, do things that we need within our community. So please go on over to our website at www.wmrronair.com. Make sure you click on the pop-up and shop flyer, and, keep up to date with our next pop-up and shops, which we have one coming up December the 12th in Pompano. All right. So if anybody wants to participate, if you are a vendor, just make sure you can DM us on any one of our social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can DM me. You can DM Viv. She is the newest member of WMR Radio. You guys just make sure you reach out, and I got you. Okay. And And what was the other thing we were talking about?
Wanza.
Okay, so in regards to the business opportunity, so I have created a business opportunity for our community. This opportunity is for anybody who is serious about making money. I see a lot of people on social media, a lot of people DM me all the time in regards to what can they do from home, because a lot of people are without vehicles. And even if you have a vehicle, the economy is so jacked up right now, you barely have gas to get to work. So I have created a way for you guys to make extra money. It is legit. It is affordable, and it also allows you to keep 100% of your profits. If you are interested, I only ask that you go on over to the website. It is www.mywamsgafranchise.com. If you have any questions, there is a chat box, so you can chat with me or either one of my affiliates or my sales associates in regards to this opportunity. So briefly, what you would do, you make a small investment and you purchase a license to be able to resell my memberships on my website and keep 100% of your profits. And trust me, nobody else is giving you that right now. I'm the only person in the world that is allowing you to resell my product and keep 100% of your profits. And that is my effort of, giving back to my local community and definitely supporting those who are out there willing to help and support themselves. Because listen, I don't do anything for people unless if I see them making an effort to help themselves. And this is what this platform is. And if anybody, again, has any questions, again, you can reach out to me via any of my social platforms. You can also follow me on Instagram at Miss Ross Radio 305. And Miss Ross Radio on Facebook if you have any questions. I also have a Facebook page. Let me see. I have a Facebook page. This is one of the flyers that you will see on the website. I also show you how you can make $100,000 in a year, or for those very, very ambitious and aggressive salespeople who are determined to get themselves out of financial debt. I also show you how you can make $1 million in a year with my company. Okay. And this is for people who are dedicated, determined, willing to put in the work. Monday through Friday, you are setting a schedule and you are hitting these marks. And I guarantee you will make either 100,000 or $1 million in a year. It's all up to you. There also are ways that you can make money every week, every day, every month. Like I said, it's completely up to you, but I have put it out there for you.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Thank you so much for that information. Well, you guys, we're going to cut it short tonight. This is our time. Women Support and Women Support Group. Again, if you need any resources or services, you can give me a call at 954-371-6755, or you can email me vision, VISION, the number 2, values, VALUES, number 2, at gmail.com. And whatever it is that I can help you and your family with, I will make every effort to make it happen. I want to thank you all for tuning in to Women Support and Women Support Group. We'll be here every Friday from 6 to 9. And you guys be blessed. Peace and blessings. Thank you.
Peace.
Deuces.
Good show. Andre, what things? He has.
Oh.
He got